that she had something going on. I'm on Facebook just strolling through, and she accepted to come. And we're going to have her come, and she's going to talk about her business that she does. Let's receive Pamela. Well, thank you guys for having me. I am working on, because I do work a 9 to 5, so I'm working on becoming my own boss. So, sweetie, keep up the good work. You did a phenomenal job. I'm actually interested in, I have 3 books that I have written and published. And I'm working on getting myself out there as a public speaker. So, love it. It just drives everything in me to know one day that God will answer that prayer for me. So today I want to talk to you about making God decisions. Now, of course, how many of us in here have children or grandchildren? Okay. And how many of us are willing to learn a better way to benefit our children and grandchildren? Okay, I'm going to relate a story. My ultimate goal is to help any woman or any, person with their daddy issues. I did not know, I knew my father, but he was not in my life. Now, my father, when I lived up north, stayed 5 minutes away from us, and he never moved. He always took us to his company picnic. But I didn't have a relationship with him, and that was so detrimental for me. And still at 45, it still tugs at my heart. And so we understand that there are curses and there are blessings. Well, I was a single parent until I married my great husband back there in 2012. And so my daughter is 21 years old. And what I have given her is the same thing that was given to me, and that is having my father not be in my life. But God is awesome. He can take on that place where my father was not there, and he has given me the ability to speak, to use what has not been given to me in order to give to somebody else, because it does not devalue you. It does not mean that you're any less because your father is not there. So, I want my daughter to not have regrets, so I have to be her example. So, I have decided to call my father, to make an effort to have a relationship with him. And God is so phenomenal in the fact that all I needed to hear was my father tell me he loves me. And he has done that. The relationship I'm trying to build with him is because the Bible clearly says that we're supposed to honor our father and mother. And I can't expect to be blessed if I do not do that. So I want to live this life out in front of my daughter in order for her not to have those regrets, not to have a hate in her heart for her father. So that's just a little bit about who I am. Okay. So, I'm going to read this quote because, like I said, it's all about making good decisions. I am a Disney fan. Absolutely love Disney. And pray with me because I am in the process now of writing a book that I want Disney to take on and me do a voice for one of the characters. Okay, so there, I don't know if you guys know Alice in Wonderland. I'm sure you do. There's a thought-provoking scene in Lewis Carroll's classic children's tale, Alice in Wonderland. Young Alice comes to a fork in the road and is asked by the Cheshire Cat which direction she would like to take. That depends a good deal on where you want to go, said the cat. I don't much care, said Alice. Well, it doesn't really matter where you walk, says the cat. But because when you make right decisions, you're in a position to go to a place. You're not just wanting to take just any kind of direction. So, here's what I have found, and I hope that in my conversation with you, that you'll take up something that will help you along the way. What I have found is that first, there must exist a relationship with God. And I know that we all have that relationship, but it's in hearing his voice. Is in knowing in your heart that what you are deciding is what he has told you to do. So, I want to make sure that we understand that is the ultimate. It doesn't matter how people tell you you should do it. It doesn't matter how they confirm you or devalue you. If God has told you to do it, then you step out in faith. Okay, putting your total trust in human nature, it's never a good idea. And we all know that. So, because I think back to, dealing with my father issue and being told that, hey, you need to move on, you need to get over it. And that's true. But not in the way that somebody else decides to tell me I need to move on, but in the way God decides to tell me. Because if I choose to do it the way he would have me do it, then there's total healing. There's not this, oh my God, I can't honor him when I know I should. But if God does it for me, there is no decision I ever have to make concerning my father that can't get done. Because even now, if that man needed me, I would be there for him. Okay, never allow anybody else to confirm you. People will tell you all day long, well, God told me to tell you. That is, listen, if it's a confirmation, run with it. Because God does use people to confirm what he's telling you. But if they're telling you and you have not in your heart ever been told that that's what you need to do, please don't do it. When I started my walk, the lady that does my hair, I call her my spiritual mother, she gave me this advice. She said, if it's confirmed for you, then it's what you need to do. And what God has done for me is every time he puts something in my heart, it's confirmed 3 times. I'm saying for me. I'm not saying that that's all how it's going to be for you, but for me. And so then I know, okay, God, I'm going to walk this thing out. Is it always easy? No. But because of my relationship with him and because of my maturity, I say that, I definitely try to walk that out. And I know that the only thing that we truly have is our deductive reasoning. Now, God will use that because God knows how each of us is created. He knows how each of us understands what we know and how we can give it to somebody else. Because we are called to be influencers. We are called, our ultimate job is to proclaim the kingdom. It doesn't matter what talent you have, God will use it. Because somebody else needs to see you walking it out. So always, make sure that God's voice is in your ear. Always, always, always. Make sure you spend time getting still and being quiet. Because God knows you intimately. Nobody else. I love my husband. And Lord Jesus. And God has blessed me with that man. But even still, God knows me more intimately than my husband. Because I have spent time before I met him with God. Asking and laying down love, because my heart has always wanted that. I've always wanted a family. And when my mom passed away, it was just the most devastating thing that has happened in my life. But because I had my sweet mama, that's what I call my daughter. Her name is Tequila, and she's 21 years old. Thank you, Jesus. She has been such a blessing for me. And yes, I did have my child out of wedlock, but God also used that. He knew that without my mother, there would be no reason for me to live here. So, for her, I have to get up every day, and still at 21, her mommy gets up every day. I love my God. I do. And my God knows how I love that girl. So, for her, I get up every day. I put a smile on my face, and I move because of her. I don't always feel like it, but because he has given me that ability to be strong in the midst of struggle, I praise him. Amen. Always learn how you learn. There is a process. which is hard for me to get because I don't really like processes all the time. I like for God to give me an answer. I like to move. I like things to be shaken up. Now, I've been writing, that first book I did, took me a long time to get finished, and it's called You Are God's Love Story. God asked me to write my own fairy tale because I love fairy tales. Not that, well, I always got them in my life, but so I wrote that book, finished it, and that man sitting right there is the inspiration for the end of it, because God really answered everything God had spoken to him, not telling anybody. That man spoke to my heart in every way that God allowed him to. So I am very blessed. I am a very kept woman. Now, in order to make the decisive, in order to make the right decision, you have to be able to not only know what it is, but to also implement it. Because wisdom in how you need to process through a thing is the ultimate gift that God can give you. Because I've had all kinds of dreams. I've had all kinds of things I wanted to do and what I thought Pam needed to do. But God knew better. So I love how he has, the first thing God gave me when I started this relationship, because I actually started a little bit later, I started at 30. And he told me it's not about me. Well, I thought my whole life was about me. I thought my relationships, my friendships were about Pam. But God said, no, it's not about you. And he has really helped me understand that everything I know, everything he's teaching me is not for me. So I have been able to walk this walk out, to rely on God. Why? Because I know God loves me. God will forever love me. It don't matter how I look today, what I'm saying today, my God will always love me. He is always the answer. He knows every situation I will come in contact with, and he knows how to bless me in order to bless somebody else, because I'm not really a people person. It's just not who I am. But God is so funny that way. And so he has allowed me to want to have a ministry that ministers to people. And for some reason, as you know, I'm just kind of bold, and if you ask me, I'm going to tell you. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I don't try to, you know what I'm saying, make you feel good today. Because if you don't already know that, then I don't know what to tell you. So, God has opened some doors. My husband has always wanted, he is a phenomenal mentor. That is his heart. That's what he loves to do. I don't too much like to do all that. But because we both love young people, he has opened some doors to the fact of bringing people into my life that I would have said, no, scratch. I'm not going to do that. But one of the young ladies that he wanted me to actually mentor, we had some time to spend together. Well, she is a great young lady. She has 2 young children. You know, past that age, so I don't babysit. But we have built a relationship and a friendship that is really phenomenal, because I know that I could, if I needed to, I could call her up and say, you know what I'm saying, would you pray for me, or will you come by, let's go hang out. So here's what I'm trying to say. Always make sure that you hear that God in your ear. Don't let the world, don't let people drown that out for you. Because at the end of the day, men will walk away from you. Yes. They will disappoint, because I have lived my life in a place that trusting is never been easy. And so now, as I'm walking this life out, because I never thought I would get married again. I was married one time to my daughter's father. That was awful. So God had another plan. And my husband and I can do more good together than we could ever do apart. So the message in my ministry is this: God will never leave you, and you already know he'll never forsake you. God wants the best for you, and we should make going to him what we do first, not an afterthought, which will produce consequences if we don't listen to him first, if we don't take it to him first. It will produce consequences, and a lot of times it will be something that you'll have to work through, that you never should have had to walk through. but God will use it. So, always remember, there's nothing too hard for God. He is the ultimate source of everything we need, the heartbeat of my love, and I couldn't do anything without him. So I thank you for this opportunity, and be blessed.